And we're live. Finally, the Killer Breeze has come to the Outlaw Posse. Killer Breeze is one of the original Outlaw Posse members. So I just wanted to, stay in tune and stick to what I said I was going to do. I'm going to start having some of the Common Joes and Sallies in the know on here. Put us in the know. How's it going, Killer Breeze? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, there was a little delay. There's a little delay for some reason on the deal. But anyway, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Anyway, this delay is really messing with me, man. How far behind am I lagging behind you?
I'm not sure. I've never had a delay before, so I wouldn't know. Like I said, this is all new to me as well.
All right. Well, anyway, the cool thing is, man, this is something that you and I talked about a long time ago when your show was building up, which was getting to the point where you could start having some of these folks on your show. So it's pretty cool, man, to see it start to happen.
You might have to I don't know, but sometimes if you take the microphones out and just listen to your speakers, sometimes it's not as delayed. I don't know. That's just something I heard at one point. I don't know if that's true or not. Mountaineer Paul's up in here, and he's a podcaster. He might be able to tell us more about that than I know. So I'm not sure about why it would be lagging. Is it still lagging on you? Now we can't hear your voice now. Your audio's gone. Might have to put your audio's gone. Having some technical difficulties. But while he's getting that straight, seems like we already got a bunch of people up in here. Mountaineer Paul's up in here. He says Oklahoma looked good yesterday. You got your audio fixed yet? Still can't hear you. Audio's gone. He's probably going to have to come back in. But anyway, it's finally here. That week is here. It's the Red River Shootout. Everybody has requested, people that have a little bit of a spine about them, has requested that I call this the Red River Shootout. The politically correct people want to be called the Red River Rivalry, but we're going to call it the Shootout because that's what people want, right? But it seems like USC and Colorado give me the best of both worlds, like that old Hannah Montana song, that stupid ass song she used to sing.
Now we're good.
Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we're good.
I was just getting into the whole USC Colorado spiel. Jonathan Lewis said last week, I was rooting for USC for the first time. I said that's another reason why I hate Contime is he's actually made me root for the Skittle Shitters for the first time ever. And
yeah,
he said, well, we wanted to score some points. That way you had the best of both worlds. And sure enough, they did. USC's defense tried to shit the bed and shit the game away. They didn't because Contime chokes once again. So I got the best of both worlds. Contime choked. He lost to another top 10 team. And USC's defense looked like absolute horse shit once again.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the watch along with you when you went live yesterday. And I, like many of the OU fans, it seemed like really were pulling for, Colorado to win. Because I think everybody just it's never going to get old watching Lincoln Riley fail. Any chance we can see that, it's going to be great. So I started off the day wanting Colorado to win, but listening to you talk, it made me really realize USC is going to have plenty of ass whippings coming their way with the likes of Utah and Oregon and Washington. So let's go ahead and let Contime take as many losses as he can get, and USC will get theirs coming soon enough. But the way that it turned out actually was a pretty good result as well. Because
that was my thinking. You know, I was like, USC's gonna get beat, but I need Con time to get as many losses as he can so I can take care of the whole two birds with one stone theory, because I can't stand either one of them.
I think that's the right way to look at it. You know, somehow Caleb Williams throws 6 touchdowns. They put up 48 points. At one time they were leading, I believe, 31-7. It also might have been 37-14 at one time, something like that. I mean, it was a blowout. And I was saying in the comments section, this is exactly what we used to have under Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch at Oklahoma. To get out to some crazy lead, looks like they're going to cruise, and next thing you know, the offense, has some errors. They start sputtering, and Alex Grinch's defense chokes the lead away, or we just barely hang on, So somehow, even though USC, drops 48 points and Caleb Williams throws 6 touchdowns, somehow they leave the game feeling terrible about their team and having emergency live sessions today on some of the USC shows talking about, what we all tried to tell them.
Did it not look like the Cotton Bowl all over again?
Absolutely.
Except 10 times worse. 10 times worse. At least Tulane was close most of the game. It was 48-21. How do you go from 48-21 to 48-41? I don't get that. I
honestly don't know.
Dale Sant is in the house. He's got his badge. He's deputized. He says, yes, it's the shootout. We're not being into politically correct liberal. I've been calling it the Red River Shootout all week because I found out, I didn't know this, that they made y'all change the name of it for politically correct reasons, that they took the shootout off of there and put rivalry on there. I guess because they thought some soft in the head, mentally deranged person was going to take the word shootout literally and go in there and start, picking people off. I don't know. It's just the politically correct crap, man. Just gets on my damn nerves, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I got to be honest with you, man. My father's side of the family all come from Oklahoma, and they were graduated from OU and were going to school there in the 50s when Bud Wilkinson was starting the OU dynasties off. And it's been fun, man, watching the team. It's just been fun watching the team. I think OU is for real, and I think that the team is progressing the way that it should progress. So I'm enjoying the season so far.
Yeah, Oklahoma. I didn't watch the beginning of the game, but it looks like from what I see that Oklahoma and Texas basically played their opponents about the same way. They struggled in the first half, pulling away, but in the second half, both Oklahoma and Texas both pulled away. Because I got like a message from a few of the USC skill shooters out there that, they were like, oh, Oklahoma's struggling against Iowa State. And what about Oklahoma now? And I'm like, y'all do realize this is just halftime, right? And a lot of shit can happen in 2 quarters. And sure enough, boom shakalaka boom, it's 50-20.
Yeah.
So
Texas and Texas, Kansas's quarterback didn't play, so it wasn't even Kansas at full strength, and it was 13-7 at halftime. I mean, they were still in it in the second half, and it really came down. There was a little bit of a momentum shift in the second half that Texas just kind of sprung off from there, and it was kind of the same thing with Oklahoma. The second half they really shut them down. Oklahoma's offense really didn't do a lot in the second half, but if I remember correctly, they put up 48 in the first half. So, it was, or 40 in the first half, maybe. I don't remember, but it was they both kind of took off after struggling a little bit in the beginning. Really, Oklahoma, it looks a lot worse than it really was. It really came down to two plays, just kind of busted plays, man, where the safeties. Just, what happens, it's just what happens. They just made bad plays. So when you take those out, I think the thing that scared Oklahoma fans also is that they had some opportunities that they blew where the defense could have been exposed a little bit more. But, once they made some adjustments, they shut it down. and just like they did last week. And, you know, I would argue to say that under Lincoln Riley, that would not have happened. It would have been what you saw with USC and Colorado. So, look, for the first, this is a big game between OU and Texas. They both came in like they're supposed to, 5-0. You know, Texas is 3, Oklahoma's 12. And honestly, Oklahoma always plays better as the underdog anyway. So we definitely have a shot.
Looks like Teresa Moser sort of concludes to what we were saying as well. She says, no fear, Mary Kay will have an off game.
Definitely.
Mary Kay Williams will eventually have an off game, just like he did against Utah a few times last year. And he really didn't have an off game against Tulane. I mean, the defense just couldn't help him out. So
no.
Mary Kay may not need to have an off game at all. All it's going to take is someone with a, you know, average defense to hold them to about 24 to 31 points, and then they're probably going to lose a game by a couple of touchdowns, especially playing Oregon and Washington this year. You know, they didn't even play Oregon and Washington last year.
That's right.
Their schedule's a little bit tougher, plus they still got to play Notre Dame too, as well as Utah. So they can lose 4 games, man. I'm not just saying it to troll. They really could lose 4 games. So,
they could. You look at this is the problem with Lincoln Riley's philosophy in general. It doesn't matter, college football, pro football, you know, any sport. What is the big problem when your approach is, I'm going to outscore everyone because I have the best offense in the league or in the world, whatever it is stage you're competing on. The problem is, or if you're an all 3-point shooting team, Steph Curry notwithstanding, the problem is at some point during the season, your offense, for whatever reason, doesn't click on all cylinders. And then what do you do in that situation? You know, or when you play a team that's really good on both sides of the ball, what do you do then? It's feasible. Anything can happen. Maybe he gets lucky and wins 1 national championship at some point if he stays in college football. I think there's a good chance he leaves after this year, especially if their defense, you know, craps the bed all year and he has a chance to follow his boyfriend to the NFL, which is a good chance that could happen.
Now, if y'all want to get your comment pushed to the top, and so I can see it more readily, because there's like 61 people in here tonight. There's a lot of people in here tonight. I can't see all these comments coming in.
Clark's got it right.
Yeah, if you hit on that $sign at the bottom of this video, click on that and it'll highlight your comment. You can give it anywhere from 2 to 5 to 10 to 20 on upwards, as much as you want. Just click that little $sign and it'll highlight your comment, and then we can read it out more readily. Also, you'll see people in here with their badges as well. If you want that Outlaw Posse badge, you want to get deputized, you can be in the Outlaw Posse. There's a little join button next to the subscribe button. Just click on that join button. It's not but $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You get your badge, be deputized, and maybe be a 4 horseman shout out, which I think I'm going to do a 4 horseman shout out here in a little bit, as well as possibly be the comment of the day on the next podcast. Killer Breeze has got his badge too, by the way. Where's your badge at, man?
You need to send me one, man.
I want to send y'all an actual badge. I used to have a couple of badges from the Texas Ranger, not Texas Ranger, the Walker Texas Ranger show.
Oh, yeah?
I collect, just unique stuff like that. And my daughter was a big fan of that when she was a little girl. She had a crush on Chuck Norris for whatever reason. So I ordered a couple of Chuck Norris badges, like from the actual movie set.
Chuck was a badass, man.
But yeah, Clark D says, I was at the Oklahoma-Iowa State game. Oklahoma dominated Iowa State the entire game. There was a couple of busted coverages that resulted in Iowa State touchdowns. But I didn't see the game, so I can't really say that actually happened. But you said you seen it, Killer Breeze, so I'll take your word for it.
I can finally see the comments now. There we go. Now we're cooking. All
Dorian
right.
Kennedy,
I'm learning.
Navigators is in the house. He's a pretty loyal listener as well. He says it won't matter if Caleb Williams has an off game. Their defense will never stop Oregon or Washington. 2 losses for certain, with 2 or 3 more to come, possibly come. And that's just exactly what we got to just
Yes.
saying is that Caleb Williams don't have to have an off game. But if he does, shit, they could lose by 28.
Oh man, listen, look, the transitive property is never the best way to judge teams, right? Hey, this team didn't play against this other team very well, so you're trying to compare wins and losses. But let's be honest, Oregon dominated Colorado. Oregon really took their foot off the gas. If they wanted to put up 80 on Colorado, and I think for some reason Dan Lanning started feeling sorry for the guy, because if they wanted to put 80 on him, they would have done it. They straight dominated Colorado from start to finish, and USC started off hot and finished horribly. I mean, listen, I'm pretty sure Colorado's last 5 possessions went like 5-play drive, touchdown, 10-play drive, touchdown, another drive, 5-play drive, touchdown, turnover on downs, and then the last drive, which I don't think anybody understands why they took so long to drive down the field. I mean, there was no sense of urgency to putting themselves in a position where they need an onside kick.
Yeah, they were running the ball.
Onside kick. I mean, that made no sense to me. I don't know if that showed the greenness of that OC or not, but I didn't get that. Did you?
Maybe tried to catch him off guard a couple of times. It didn't work the first couple of times, so I don't know why he kept on doing that shit.
Why would they? Yeah, why would he do that? I don't understand.
I guess he thought he'd catch him off guard, man. The first time it didn't work, he's like, well, they would never think I tried again. And he tried it again, and they stopped it again. And then he tried a third time. He did that shit like 3 times. I'm like, it's called a 2-minute drill for a reason, jackass.
even your boy Sakazulu, like you like to call him, sense of urgency behind the line, none whatsoever. Just taking his time, looking back at the sideline, checking, like he's in the middle of the beginning of the second quarter. Just no sense of urgency whatsoever. I just didn't. It almost seemed intentional, because it was multiple, like you just said, multiple plays trying to run the ball. I just didn't get it.
No. And this weekend, this game coming up, well, actually, a lot of the Sooner fans were saying when I was doing it live, the first half of that game, and they were like, USC's just going to come out and Lincoln Riley's going to take his foot off the gas and let them back in the game. And I thought, surely they can't do that with Colorado. Colorado's defense is not going to hold up. But I'll be damned if they didn't find a way to put the brakes on, because they had, what was it like, what was it they had at halftime? They had like 35 points at halftime, or 34?
That's right. I think that sounds right.
They had 34 points at halftime and only scored 2 touchdowns in the second half. I'm just like, Lincoln has an issue with letting up on people or something. I don't know what to do.
Well, he gets cute. Well, you know what, though? He gets cute. He's always done that. He gets cute with his play call, and he starts throwing the ball when he should be running it and running it when he should be throwing. He is destined. He wants to prove to everybody how genius he is. And it's one of those pride things, man, and ego things. And he's proven to have quite the ego with this move. I like what my boy Mike Happy is saying. I don't understand this, Sooner Nation. Those of you calling for Gabriel to be benched, you got to be out of your mind. I mean, why in the world would we bench Gabriel? Yes, Jackson Arnold is a stud. He's going to be awesome. But we don't – I mean, Jesse, you tell me, would you sit Gabriel for Jackson Arnold? I mean, the theory is from Sooner fans that want him in there is that he's clearly going to be great. They all see that ball he threw down the sideline when he came in was money, no doubt. He's going to be great. But would you sit Gabriel for Jackson Arnold right now? Jackson
Arnold's doing exactly what Jackson Arnold needs to do. And the fact that he's not coming in and demanding playing time, shows that he's a team player and he understands the concept of building something.
Right.
He's not all about the NIL, I don't think, anyway, from what I've seen. And he sort of reminds me of the I guess you would say the Mac Jones situation, when Tua Tagovailoa was a starting quarterback at Alabama. Mac Jones waved his turn, and you see what happened with Mac Jones. He was great. And everybody thought, well, we need to put Bryce Young in the game. I'm like, why? Mac Jones is tearing it up. Y'all just want to
Yeah.
see Bryce Young just to see Bryce Young, and Bryce Young followed the natural progression that Tua and Mac Jones did, and Bryce Young ended up being a great quarterback.
Right.
So I think that's what's going to happen with Jackson Arnold. I mean, this worked out perfectly for Jackson. This whole situation is setting up nicely for Jackson Arnold to come in and become the next big name quarterback in Oklahoma history.
But man, Gabriel's play alone justifies him staying in there as the starter. He's playing at a high level. He's not playing at a so-so. He's playing at the dude had over 350 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 3 in the air, 2 on the ground. I think he had 1 pick. I don't think he had 2. I think he had 1 pick. His efficiency is off the charts good, especially compared to the rest of the country. Like, no, he is not Caleb Williams. It sucks that Caleb Williams went to USC. It was BS. We all know how it happened and why it happened. But, man, if it wouldn't have been for Dillon Gabriel coming to Oklahoma last year and saving our ass, we would have been lucky to win 2 flipping games. Do you know what I'm saying? So, man, respect the kid, you know. There's no need to say the things that some of y'all say. We got to be better than that, man. The Sooners have an incredible fan base, but man, this faction of it that says the kind of things that they say about Dillon Gabriel when you know he's going to see that kind of stuff. You can't do that.
Can you see the stats right here that I pulled up?
Yes.
Screen, or is it too small?
No, I can see it.
This was Texas's game against Kansas last week, and just comparing them a little bit, it seemed Texas had 325 yards passing, 336 yards rushing, and 661 total yards of offense last week.
Yeah.
So that was pretty nice.
Well, that's definitely where we have an issue. You know, I think everybody came into the season thinking that the running back room was good and fairly set in terms of the rotation, and everybody had big question marks on the wide receiver room. Well, as it turns out, the wide receiver room might be the best room on the team, and the running backs. I mean, in my opinion, Marcus Major is just not that guy. I think he's okay, but he doesn't seem to have the ability to make people miss. He doesn't make good cuts. He tends to run right into the tacklers. He's just not that guy. I think Javonte Barnes is hurt. I'm really confused. And, they played Marcus Major more than anybody else. And, I'd rather see Tyree Walker or really Gavin Sawchuk. But we're not running the ball well right now. Well, all year we haven't run the ball well. It's definitely, which I think is a problem, coming from the O-line not being as good as we were hoping they would be. They're good in some areas, bad in others, and run blocking is one of them.
Now, before I run down these Oklahoma stats here, I did see something that I was unable to show y'all on that last graphic. It was sort of interesting. I'm not sure about Oklahoma, but it looks like Texas didn't get any sacks in that game against Kansas. If Texas
really?
Get any sacks against Oklahoma, I think Dillon Gabriel's going to eat their ass up. And all those Dillon Gabriel haters may have a coming to Jesus moment.
I hope so. I hope so, man. That would make me really happy because I feel like the kid saved our ass. As bad as last year was, it could have been a lot worse. And I mean, man, he's a kid, And this year, though, he is playing great football. We're just so spoiled.
Y'all had 366 yards passing, 157 yards rushing, 523 total yards against Iowa State. So it's about
Iowa State.
It's about even.
Iowa State has a good defense, man. That's one of the things that they typically have.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all played a better defense than they did. I don't think Kansas' defense is as good as Iowa State's, but it's just Iowa State's defense is always put in bad situations by their horrific offense. And going back to Dillon Gabriel, let me ask y'all this. What do you think would have happened if Dillon Gabriel had never transferred over here? What do you think would have happened last year? You think 6 and 7 was bad? Man, and if he wasn't here this year and they had to throw Jackson Arnold into the fire, And I'd venture to say Jackson Arnold may have not even came to Oklahoma if, Oklahoma had went worse than 6-7, which I think they would have had Dylan Gabriel not been here. I think Oklahoma could have finished 4-8 without Dylan Gabriel.
Well, one of the things you got to factor in about Jackson Arnold and how he's played this year, yeah, he has looked great when he's come into the game. But he's come into the game when that game is in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no pressure. So how do you know he would have performed as well if the whole weight of the entire program was on his shoulders? You never know, man. It could have been totally different. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I think the guy's a stud. I honestly think Jackson Arnold is going to go down as the best quarterback we've ever had. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think he's getting to sit here and learn. It's actually helped him a lot.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, so let's just be happy. This year was never. I mean, it's funny to me, and you know this, Jesse, coming from, Alabama, the high expectations of these fan bases, and rightfully so. It's what it is. But, man, we just always, if we're not in the hunt for the national championship, we're pissed. We don't feel right, But this year was never about winning the national championship for Oklahoma. So the fact that Dylan Gabriel is not a national championship winning quarterback, that's okay. We're not going to win it with Gabriel. Jackson, well, anything's possible, right? I'm not, but my point is, we were 6-7 last year, man. If we end up 10-2 this year, disappointing a little bit, yeah, but that's a win. And BB is going in the right direction.
Well, you feel like you're progressing somewhat. You're not just muddling through and waiting for the next coach to come in and take over, that kind of deal. Go ahead and give a few Four Horsemen shout-outs. Four Horsemen shout-outs this week go to Nellie Martin, the Gov, Hey You, and Preston Green are helping us with today's college football invasion. They are our Four Horsemen of the day. If you want to get your Four Horsemen shout-out, all you got to do is join the Outlaw Posse. It's a little join button next to the subscribe button. It's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Hit that. Join the Outlaw Posse to get your random Four Horsemen shout-out, as well as possibly be the comment of the day. Also, if you want to get your comment highlighted and push the top, because we got so many comments in here. We got 87 people in here now.
I was about to say, I can't see how many people are in here. How
it's 87? A lot of people in here today, man. You a good luck charm. I think it's the most we've ever had in here. The Killer Breeze put the kill on it. But if y'all want to get your comment highlighted and you want us to read it out for you, because I can't get to all of them, just hit that little $sign at the bottom, and it'll highlight your comment, and you donate whatever you want, however many characters you want. And make sure you put that comment in there, then send it so you get your money's worth. That way we can read out your comment. Old 56 timers in the house. He's pretty much a regular. He donates to the program all the time. We also had some donors to the program last week, Rhino 26 and Heath Stokes. And we got a new Outlaw Posse member as well. MR has now got his badge, and he's deputized, and he's ready to go. So the Outlaw Posse continues to grow by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of you, dude. I saw the subscribers are starting to bump up again. You just started off at an unusually high pace. You grew your show faster than most people grow their shows. Honestly, I think you know that. It looks like it's got some good momentum. Now that the season's in gear and more people are joining. I love the badges are great. It's a nice little way to highlight some of the folks that take pride in being part of the Outlaw Posse.
Yeah, hopefully the people that I give their shout outs to and the new members, hopefully they'll watch this to this point. I mean, we're pretty much far into this right now. Sometimes people won't watch it far enough to hear their name called out, so I sort of worry about that. So what I might do is when I do an actual podcast, I'll just do it again for the same people that I just did it for.
Yeah. I like Cinnaminson here. Cinnaminson06 saying, you think BV didn't actually coach the D last year and now he took that shit over? Yes. I think that's part of it. He said that publicly. He said that looking back on it, he should have been a little more involved. I've never really I don't know. I still don't really know what to think of Ted Roof. You might know, Jesse. You might have a better idea of Ted Roof than I even do at this point, even though he's been OU's D coordinator for the last year and a half because of his time at Auburn and you being in Alabama. What's your take on Roof?
I can tell you this: he's not a good head coach. He was horrible at Duke, and people were like, "Well, that was Duke." Well, someone's winning at Duke right now, and people say it about Kansas, but someone's winning at Kansas right now. If a coach is, if he has the it factor, he's going to be a successful head coach, just like Bear Bryant was, just like Barry Switzer and all the greats. Nick Saban, they all started out at places. Nick Saban started out at Toledo, but that's sort of off the subject a little bit. Ted Roof, sort of like Kevin Steele in a way at Alabama. He's had his ups and downs. He's had some issues where he didn't look too good, but then he's had stretches where he looks like a pretty decent defensive coordinator. He's pretty seasoned, just like Kevin Steele. I wasn't a big fan of Kevin Steele being hired because I remember him giving up 70 points to West Virginia in a damn Orange Bowl when he was a Clemson defensive coordinator. But
Steele seemed like a lazy hire to me.
Some people are just
agree with that.
Some people are just meant to be coordinators. They're great coordinators, just not great coaches.
Yeah. I think Tebow was one of them.
Back in the day, I don't know if you remember this guy. His name was Norm Chow. He was a great offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator at USC and
and then he was I think he was at BYU or Utah. They thought he was going to succeed Lavelle Edwards at Utah or not Utah, but BYU. And
BYU, that's right. Oh, you're right about that.
He didn't succeed Lavelle Edwards at BYU, and he was pretty pissed off about it. But he finally got his opportunity at Hawaii, and he shit the bed. So we ain't heard from Norm Chow since. But some of those guys like Ted Roof, man, they know defense, but they're just, as far as being the CEO of an organization, they just ain't got what it takes to do that part of it.
Yeah. Now, when he I went listening to his post game and pregame press conferences, it just doesn't strike me as the I don't know, man. It just doesn't.
He looks like everybody trying to get me to come to Dallas this weekend.
So man. Sooner Nation's gonna take good care of you, man.
Ross you know that. Trying to get me to come. Teresa Moser, she trying to get me up in there.
I tried to tell you that, man. Like one thing I told you this from the very beginning when I started following your show, especially at the time when you started putting out your content, supporting Oklahoma. At the time, we were in a weird spot because OU hasn't found itself in fragile, vulnerable positions very often, and we were very much in one of those. And so to have this dude from Alabama, for some reason, putting out positive, things about our program and saying that everything was going to still be all right, man, Sooner Nation's going to love you forever for that.
Man, it's like when you see somebody, just getting beat down for no apparent reason outside of a bar somewhere. Some people just walk by and not stop and help. Some people do stop and help. I decided to stop and help. Because that's bullshit what Colin Coward and them were doing. Freaking Tebow won't shut his – don't get me cussing, man. Tebow won't shut his mouth, man. And they get in there and they talk all that shit about, we must be living rent-free in your head. I'm like, you live rent-free in shit. Y'all won't shut up about it. I'm an Alabama fan. So if I'm an unbiased Alabama fan, I can see this shit. Y'all should be able to see it too. Y'all just don't want to admit to it.
Yeah, you should come, man. It's a great game. The Red River Rivalry really is. I mean, well, hell, like with the Iron Bowl, man, it's just something about that game in particular. It doesn't even really matter if the teams are very good. They're still going to play usually a good game. Games like last year are typically not what happens. And really in recent history, the big blowouts, Oklahoma's been on those for the most part, the 63-14 and 60. 63-14 and 65-13, maybe. I think it was something like that. Help me out, Sooner Nation. What were those two bookend blowouts when we beat Texas 5 years in a row?
What do you think about what Teakin just said?
What's that? Let me see.
It says I pulled it up on the screen.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Roof was a guy that would not bring his own ego, a grown-up, no ego. That allows BV to somewhat command the defense.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I mean, I think, it does seem to make sense that Brent Venables, you wouldn't think that he would come in and just completely relinquish the defense. So it did always seem like Roof was kind of, I hate to use the word puppet, but kind of that.
Well, Lane Kiffin sort of said the same thing about Kevin Steele at Alabama. He said that Kevin Steele wasn't really calling them defense. It was this guy named T-Rob. Can't remember his full name. I just know his nickname T-Rob. He's a defensive coach at Alabama that they're trying to groom, I think, to take over the defensive coordinator job at some point. But maybe Roof. Someone told me Roof had someone behind him that helps him a lot. Someone on your staff. I can't remember his name.
Really, I haven't heard that. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, what's the guy's name that's the real good recruiter, man? He's a defensive guy on your staff. I can't remember his damn name.
Man, they got Chavis. I mean, they got a few of them. Bates, Chavis, Valai. Those guys are all recruiting at a really high level.
Hey, if y'all don't mind, jump out of the chat and hit the like button if you don't mind. That way it pushes it out to the algorithm. It'll take about 3 or 4 seconds, and you can jump back in here with us. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell. If you don't hit the bell to go with it, you won't get notified when we're up and on the air. So you can help me out that way. That's all free. Just hit that like button for me.
I like what Hank's saying. Hall is the DC in waiting. I think you're right about that too. I would see Hall as the next DC.
That's the guy that I was talking about.
That might be the guy you're talking about, Jesse. Hall was a head coach, I believe, if I remember correctly. He came from the OU program.
Right here, just what Bryce Wayne is saying. Another thing is that me and Oklahoma and Alabama people have a lot in common. We're sort of common folk, blue collar working type people. And what happened to Alabama with Dennis Franchione sort of struck a nerve with me, man. It sort of resembled that when Lincoln Riley did it to y'all. And everybody tries to give Lincoln Riley so much credit for building USC, but he didn't just take transfer portals like his smart ass tried to say. Oh, we're not taking Oklahoma players. We're just taking transfer portal players. I'm like, are you seriously going to say that shit? I could not believe that.
Hold tight, man.
All right. I couldn't believe he said that. I'm like, damn, really? Y'all not taking Oklahoma players?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, listen,
every single one of them, right? Most of them were Oklahoma players. I'm like, you taking transfer portal players is not the problem here. That's why I try to keep telling these people. It's that he tampered with their roster and lured him over there. That's bullshit, man. And they got to have to put some rules in place. They got to put some rules in place, man.
Yeah, it's too easy right now, man. It's too easy to do tampering. Tampering's always hard to prove anyway. But I know you say that a lot as well. It really is. But the way that the way that things are right now, it's really hard to prove. It's just too easy for players to make calls to other players on behalf of the coach. Shit like that. How do you prove that they didn't do that on their own?
So how long has it been since Oklahoma and Texas have been undefeated going into the Red River Rivalry shootout?
It's been a while, man. It's been a while because Texas really, hasn't been very good. The early games in the 2000s were like that. They had some great games in the first 5 years, 2000 through like 2004 were some amazing UT games. The games in 08 and 09, if I remember correctly. Well, Bradford got hurt in one of those, but they had some really good games then. But I don't think these two have been undefeated coming into this game now in 10 years or so. Oh yeah, some people are saying 2011. So yeah, 12 years. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you if you like my new primetime Power Rangers. Here we go. Got my primetime con time. Got my con time Power Ranger glasses on, man. I don't understand that dude, man. He wants all this respect, but he don't want to get no respect. He don't want to give no respect, man. And he wants. I want y'all to call me coach. Y'all call Saban coach. I want y'all to call me coach. And then when we agree to call him coach, he wants to add some stupid ass cartoon character name to it, like Coach Prime. I have to take his shot every time, man, because I got to. I got to, man. And the con time groupies out there, man. Coach Prime, Optimus Jackass, you know.
I can't take any man seriously, man, that refers to himself either by his own nickname or in the third person.
Well, I know why. I think now I know why he's been wearing sunglasses, man, because he knew this shit was coming. He don't want to see it. He don't want to see what's about to come, because I think Colorado might lose out, man. And that worst thing could happen to him was him winning them first 3 games and get everybody's hopes up. Now he's going to look like a complete idiot.
Hey, what is this comment from Slade Baker talking about the players were held hostage in Tebow's house and OU fans broke in to get them out? That's got to be a joke, right? What are we talking about here?
Where's it at?
Slade Baker. Can I highlight it? No, I can't highlight it.
You might be able to.
Oh, wait, look, I can join the chat. Here we go. Oh, no, shit.
Twisted Monkey. I don't know, man. Milroe.
It's a joke. Steven says
as far as Milroe leading Alabama to an SEC title game, maybe. But as far as winning an SEC title, I'm not sure about Milroe yet, man. His question is he's questionable, man, as far as his decision making still. But he looks like he's growing a little bit to me. He looks like he's learning how to just manage the game and not try to stay in that pocket too long and try to prove himself as a pocket passer, because that's not what he is, man. I think it's gotten his head a little bit. And now if he'll just start running the ball a little bit more, he might be all right.
How did Bama find themselves in this position where they had a lull in talent, depth at the quarterback position? I mean, it just seems like they recruit so highly all the time. How did they find themselves in a position where they didn't have the next man up? That, you know, it seems like they've had elite quarterbacks for a while now too. What happened?
It's not. I mean, we didn't really start getting the elite quarterbacks that you're talking about, in my opinion, until we got, you know, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. The quarterbacks before that weren't really considered elite, but they come in and they done the job. They were game managers. AJ McCarron.
But they were good. But they were good enough to win you championships.
Yeah, and you know, Jacob Coker won a national title, but he wasn't a great quarterback. You know, neither was Greg McElroy, who won the first one for us. And AJ McCarron, he was a pretty good quarterback. He did make the NFL, and he stayed there for a while as a journeyman and was a backup. He actually started a few games for Cincinnati. But this run of quarterbacks that we've had, we've sort of gotten spoiled, to be honest with you. We just need a game manager. We need to go back to having a game manager.
Yeah,
Ronnie Smith, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you. You don't mind, maybe push me out to a few of your buddies in there. Y'all share this podcast out as well if you can. How come UCLA, Florida, and Texas don't have the success of these small state schools like Oklahoma, Alabama, and Michigan? Almost like college football isn't a big state thing. That's true. And the biggest, stupidest comeback that some of these teams come back with, like USC, for example, well, we got better things to do. You know, we're in Los Angeles, and that's why we don't sell out the stadium. I'm like, no, that's ass backwards, actually. Y'all got millions and millions of people, so y'all should be able to sell it out, first of all. Second of all, Tuscaloosa and Norman aren't very big cities, and we're selling out these stadiums, right? And that's because when people graduate from here, they don't stay here. They move around the country, which even makes it worse for people like the USC fan base, because you got Oklahoma and Alabama fan bases that travel. Their alumni travel from places like Boston and Seattle and Australia. to come see the football games. Ain't got nothing to do with having something to do. It's got to do with being a loyal fan base. And that's what I get pissed off about USC too, man. They try to play that shit all the time. Oh, y'all a bunch of hicks. I ain't got nothing else better to do watch football. You think our alumni in Boston, Massachusetts don't have something better to do than watch football? They could do a lot of things in Boston, right?
Absolutely. Hey, let's go through some of these scores from over the weekend. Tell me what you think. What did you think about Utah losing, man? The Pac-12, it's funny to me. Do you think USC regrets at all joining the Big Ten? Because you could make an argument that the Pac-12 is as good of a conference as, in terms of good teams, top to bottom.
Who did Utah lose
to? Hold on, let me pull it up.
I can pull it up for you.
Shit, I just had it. Maybe it was Thursday. Yeah, they lost to Oregon State. Oregon State beat them 21-7.
Oregon State is a good team now.
That's what I'm saying. Oregon State and Washington State.
Washington State's
not even. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got USC, Oregon. I think in the top 10 right now, there's only one SEC team, and that's Georgia. You got Oregon, Washington, USC, and then you got Oregon State, Washington State. I mean, these are all highly ranked teams right now. I think all of them are in the top 50. Well, no, Oregon State was 19. So, but Utah's 10, USC is 8, Oregon's 9, Washington's 7.
They're having their best year in their last year, right?
Right. That's my point. So do you think they sitting back going, damn, man, why are we going? Because I just do not see how OU and Texas going to the SEC makes sense. Logistically, regionally, it makes sense. The Pac-12 teams that are going to the East Coast in the Midwest to play in the Big Ten, that makes zero sense. So it just makes me wonder if they don't regret now, having made that move when they have a really damn good conference and someone like USC, well, maybe not with Grinch being there right now, but USC you would think would be kind of what OU was in the Big 12. So now they've put themselves in a situation where that's not going to be them most of the time.
Yeah, I guess Robert Holiday must be a Longhorn fan up in here. Bring us some more Longhorns up here so we can have a good knockdown drag out in the comments. He must have made a comment about the 49-0 ass whipping they gave you last year. There's a lot going on. Y'all just lost Dylan Gable two or 3 weeks before that. I don't think it's going to be 49-0 this year.
Yeah.
That would really surprise me if they ended up giving 49 points. I mean, because to me, Texas's offense has sputtered at times. They sputtered against Wyoming. So, and if we don't throw 2 interceptions deep in our own territory, that game ends up tied to 24-24. It ain't like Texas really just beat the shit out of us.
So, man, I lived in Austin for 13 years. I've got some really good friends that are UT. Some of them were in the little Silver Spurs, shit. And but anyway, they'll all tell you themselves. Quentin Ewers looks like an NFL prospect 1 minute, and then he looks like someone who shouldn't even be starting or doesn't know what the hell's going on the next. So, to act like Texas is some world beater, they are better than they normally are, no doubt, because they usually would have lost the game already at this point. But to act like there's some world beater at this, you're just in here trolling, talking noise, because that's ridiculous.
So, who is Kentucky playing this week? Kentucky basically housed Florida this past week.
Annihilated them
and
by running the ball.
The thing that surprised me about that was that Florida beat Tennessee pretty handedly. And I thought Florida was back on the upswing, and then Kentucky just beats the shit out of them. I'm just like, Kentucky
did you see how they did it?
They actually challenged Georgia. Yeah, you had like 280 yards rushing. One player.
I think it was over 3. I think as a team they had over 350 yards or so rushing. I think Kentucky only threw the ball 9 times, and they beat Florida's ass. That's what they did. It wasn't even close.
You know, they said that was the first time that Kentucky beat Florida 3 years in a row since 1948 to 1951. So
yeah, I believe that.
You know, for a while there, Florida had Kentucky's number, man. They had beat them 31 straight times before Kentucky finally beat them this century. So like Alabama and Vanderbilt. Last time Alabama lost to Vanderbilt was 1984.
No, really?
I was peeling my tater to Daisy Duke back in.
I just saw a video with the Dukes of Hazzard reunion. She's still hot.
Yeah, man.
She's old. She's still hot.
Yeah, that new Daisy Duke movie that they done, man, that didn't do it justice. Now, I will say that the girl that played Daisy Duke in that, she was pretty hot. I can't remember her name. The blonde-headed girl, Jessica
Simpson.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't really get into the whole blonde thing, but I actually like her, Jessica Simpson. I thought she was pretty hot.
When she was in that movie, she was smoking hot. Smoking hot. They shot that movie. They did a lot of those scenes in Louisiana, where I'm from, as you know. And I've got a lot of friends in New Orleans that are kind of in the
I like to mess with you about you being a coon.
It's all right, man. I got pretty thick skin, dog.
That's good, because honestly, if y'all gonna be on this channel, man, y'all gotta have thick skin. Either that or you have to report me. That does happen quite a bit.
I'm trying to be good and not talk about you know who, because I know they got some Sooner fans in here.
I ain't seen no Laffy boy up in here yet. Your favorite USC Skittle shooter.
LeVere Crawford wants no piece of me. I will chew LeVere's ass up and spit him right out.
He knows, man. He knows. They give up 41 points to the Colorado Buffaloes, who Oregon just shut down. So you can't say, well, they've been doing that to everybody. No, they ain't.
No.
Oregon not let them score until the last minute, man. It is just it was bad, man. It was bad. I mean, that was probably the worst 42-6 ass whipping I ever seen. That had to feel, like you said earlier, that had the feel of 80-5 or some shit. Man, it was
man. No doubt. So what's this comment? Kentucky looking at the Auburn game and say they'll run it down Georgia's throat. Georgia looks beatable to me. They've struggled in some games too, don't you think?
Yeah, I think Georgia's right for the picking, man. I don't think their defense is nowhere near what it used to be in those championship years. But if Auburn can put 20 on them, Auburn's got an anemic offense. If Auburn can do that shit, I'm sure Kentucky can do it. I hope they can. I hope Kentucky beats the hell out of them. It'd be good to see Kentucky make a push. Kentucky's never been to Atlanta. They've never been to the SEC title game. Of course, they're basketball.
Yeah, isn't there some beef going on between Mark Stoops and Calipari at Kentucky right now?
Yeah. Calipari said some stupid shit, man. He's like, I can't remember what it was. Now he took a shot at the football team because they were doing well or something, man. I was just like, dude, why would you not want the football team to do well? I mean, you actually sell more tickets to your football games than you do your basketball games. Yeah. Stadiums are bigger, you retard. I'm gonna get in trouble.
I agree with Husky here. It looks like
you're not supposed to say on here. You're not supposed to say retard. I just said it twice. So,
well, I think we're smart enough here to be able to identify when you're using it the wrong way.
That's right.
Go down that stupid road. I agree with Husky here, talking about the SEC looks wide open this year. I think it is, man. Hell, I even think Bama could make a run. You know, anyone that counts Bama out is ridiculous in my opinion. I think
Alabama's notorious for losing the game early, and I think they're dead and gone. And You know, like that famous speech Saban did after we lost to Ole Miss. He said, "You put us in the grave. We were dead. We were gone."
And you see, Alabama held Ole Miss to what, 10 points or 7 points? What was it?
10.
10. All right. What did Ole Miss just put up on LSU this past
55.
weekend? 55. That's what I thought.
I ain't gonna lie for it to you. Now I was rooting for Ole Miss in that game.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big Brian Kelly fan, so I actually
like LSU. Unlike some Alabama fans, I actually like LSU. I just don't like Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly's
like if Alabama hired Coach Prime tomorrow, I'd probably enter the transfer portal. I ain't gonna lie now. That's how bad I hate that man. I dislike him with a passion, man.
Well, you know, I wasn't. I know I've teased you on that a couple of times, but I wasn't kidding. I actually have heard a couple of sports pundits talk about Conton being the replacement for Saban when he goes.
Yeah, of course, because him and Saban are always up each other's ass on them stupid ass Aflac commercials with stupid ass duck.
Oh man, that's good shit.
Saban, he's just like, I ain't gonna get into it, but I'm not like a lot of Alabama fans. Matter of fact, I had one of them tonight tell me I need to turn in my Alabama card because I was questioning Nick Saban. I'm not questioning him. They thinking I say he needs to retire because he lost one game. That's not the reason I'm saying that. I'm saying, why not go out on top, man? Why you got to wait? Why do you have to wait until you start going 6-6 like Bowden did his last year, or even worse, going 3-9 like Joe Paterno did in one of his final seasons? Why do you have to wait for that to happen? Why not go out on top? Sort of like Tom Osborne did at Nebraska. You know, he went out on top, man.
I agree with old Keith Davis here as well. That's a good Texas fan right there. Both teams have strengths and weaknesses. There's no doubt about it. That's what I was saying earlier. To act like either one of these teams is a shoe-in is crazy. Let's let them play it on the field and see what happens. You know, in this game, the underdog usually does better. That's just a fact. So,
in the comment section.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna ask them in the comment section to hit that like button for me. Jump out of the chat and hit that like button and push the algorithm. Also, if you want to get your comment highlighted and push the top where we can read it out more readily, because we can't read everybody's comments out. I'd love to, but we just can't do it. But if you hit that $sign at the bottom and put a donation in there, it'll highlight it and push it to the top, and then me and Killer Breeze will see it and we can read it out. But we did get member.
Yeah, I was about to say, new member here.
Killback First is, I guess he re-upped. He used to be a member. What'd you do, man? You fell off your saddle, man. You got back on the saddle.
Hey, he's back up on, man. That's the only thing that matters.
That's all that matters,
Welcome
brother.
Back, Killback First.
In the saddle again, just like Arrow Smith. Back in the saddle again.
That's right.
Woo! Saddled up, Killback First in the house.
Talk to me about some of the most underrated hair bands of the 80s, Jeff. I know you like you some White Snake. Talk to me about White Snake.
White Snake, yeah, I love White Snake, man. I mean,
I know you do.
What teenage guy does not love the White Snake video? I know what you're getting at. The White Snake video with Tony Katane.
Hell yes.
She does that split on that damn convertible or whatever.
Oh, man.
That's a moment right there that's like Daisy Duke, man. You go straight to the bathroom after that.
Hell yes. Yeah, Mike, the fake accent with Brian Kelly was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
What's that?
Mike Wilkerson saying, don't forget about Brian Kelly and his fake Southern accent. I think that was a bad
right
look.
there is another reason why, man. That's what I'm saying. And, you know, if he'd done it in a playful way, like he was joking around, it'd been different. But he did it and legitimately wanted you to believe that shit. And I'm like, you do realize, Brian, that we do watch other football games outside the South. We've seen you play, and we've seen you talk at Notre Dame. And he talked to Southern people like we're stupid. Yeah. And it's just like that famous movie, Sweet Home Alabama, with Reese Witherspoon, when her husband tells her, you know, I might talk slow, but I'm not stupid.
Hey man, why you bringing up Sweet Home Alabama? That's one of the movies I like to watch, but I don't ever admit to.
Hey, that's a chick flick I can do. That's right. I like me
I
some
watched
Reese
that movie several times.
Hey, I watched the other movie that she's in it where she's like a cheerleader and she becomes a lawyer. What's that shit called?
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde. I'll be watching the hell out of that shit. And she does that video and she's trying to get into Harvard and she's in that bathing suit. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's smoked.
Now, as far as 80s hair bands, also, I think another band that slips under the radar, you was talking about that, is Cinderella. Cinderella's got some really good ballads if you're into the whole monster ballad kind of thing. Cinderella, you never know what you got till it's gone, man. And I play that music in my car. You know, I do Uber on the side. Hard job, man, picking up hot college girls all the time and taking them to the sorority. I break a sweat.
Hey, going back to Tebow, and maybe the chat can help us out here because didn't Riley come out and give some support to Alex Grinch either this morning or yesterday evening? Didn't he come out and talk about still having faith in Alex Grinch?
Ain't that sign? Ain't that usually the sign that you're going to get rid of somebody? I mean, that's what happens when the AD gives the dreaded "I'm backing my coach up" speech, and the coach ends up getting fired. He can back him up all he wants. When they end up giving up 70 points to Oregon or somebody like that and get the shit beat out of them, then they get what they got.
But the problem is, man, is that it's not Alex Grinch and it's not the player. It's the culture that Lincoln Riley has around defense at US and in his program at Oklahoma before and USC now. The no hitting at practice, the speed over strength and size, you know, the scheme that all of that, you know, that's the problem. So you could bring in another guy. It's not gonna change the fact that
no, because
I think this is who he is.
It's Lincoln Riley, like man.
You said.
He done went through what three defensive coordinators between Oklahoma and USC. He's went through 3, right, or 2.
Yes.
Yes. Like this comment from Twisted Monkey. He says, "Will the Cotton Bowl chant SEC this Saturday before kickoff to piss off Brett Yormark?" I say a weak chant starts, but a full throat chant happens if both teams make the Big 12 championship game and just start chanting the SEC. That would be classic, man, because Brett Yormark made himself look like a complete jerk at that Texas Tech luncheon where he was like telling Texas Tech he wanted them to take care of Oklahoma and Texas. I'm like, you know, we probably knew you was thinking that anyway, but that's something you probably don't need to say out loud, you know?
It's going to happen. Teresa says Tebow is supporting Grinch. Yeah, that's what I heard, which is great. I hope he stays forever.
Well, you know, Kamala Harris is supporting Biden too, but oh well, there goes that shit.
Oh God! Hey, we really probably don't want to go down that road because he might get us popped off on that thing, and then we might not be able to get it back.
I like to go down that road a lot.
Is it true Riley was having affairs while at OU? That's the rumor. Although if you listen to Teddy and Gabe, they got pretty annoyed with that. They seem to think that wasn't true. But that was the rumor.
Teddy and Gabe are a little too close to mainstream media, so they have to be nice. We don't have to be nice.
They do.
Absolutely 150% was sticking his little wiener in somebody.
Maybe so.
Someone, this may piss some people off here, but and I've said this before, but someone told me that was one of the reasons Bob Stoops stepped down, that he was banging a booster's daughter or some crap, man.
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
I just don't see that happening, man. It'd be hard for me to believe that about Bob.
I can't, dude. Bob Stoops seems like the real deal, man. He always has. He's never really had anything that that has come out that has been, contrary to what his reputation that precedes him is, which is he's just an old school stand-up guy. Anything's possible, but I don't believe it.
Hank said
Bryce says 100% was porking her. Well, maybe.
Hank said I went down the wrong rabbit hole. What rabbit hole did I go down?
I think he might have been talking. We got another new member here, Fred Bagley. I think he was talking about maybe the rabbit hole of the Kamala, and I like to call it Kamala.
I'm sorry, Hank. I didn't know, man. My bad. Are you a liberal? If you are, I apologize. Apologize to you for being a liberal. My bad.
So, and by the way, who was the bigger loser, man, this past weekend? Was it Lincoln Riley and USC, or was it Colorado and Content? I mean, they both lost this weekend. Right?
Like I said, it was the best of both worlds for me to steal a phrase from Hannah Montana. Her little jackass song she used to sing. I used to have to listen to that shit every day. My daughter used to love some Hannah Montana, but it's just the best of both worlds for me. But yeah, you're right. Fred Bagley has just joined the Outlaw Posse.
Stepped his game up.
That's right. Fred Bagley has now mounted up and saddled up, and he's got his badge. He's deputized, and he's in the Outlaw Posse with the rest of us.
Yeah, you're right.
And, you'll get your random Four Horsemen shout out from time to time, as well as possibly be the comment of the day, Fred. We appreciate you mounting up with us, brother. The posse's growing by leaps and bounds, man. I wish I could actually get a picture made of, some posse members on some saddles or some shit.
Oh, that's coming, man.
We look like we'll be like the regulators, or when they're them guys on Tombstone are coming over that ridge after he tells them, I'm coming and hell's coming with me. That's what I see. That's what I picture.
Love it.
But we're about to get a store. We're about to get a store started, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Once you get that going, it's gonna kick up. We're gonna get all kind of good stuff in here, man. We got the potential to have some cool merch.
We do have a store in process right now. A friend of mine, Marty Keene, he helped me set it up, and we're gonna have it go live this Wednesday. The store's gonna be up hopefully.
Nice.
This Wednesday, we're gonna have some shirts and some hats, and some of the people that's giving big donations to the program, I'm gonna give them some shirts and hats for free.
Nice.
If y'all want to get your guys like Fred Bagley, there's a join button next to the subscribe button. Hit that join button, you'll get your badge. You get deputized like Fred, and get your random Four Horsemen shout out, as well as possibly be the comment of the day. We got a super sticker.
With the super sticker.
Appreciate that, brother. Can't really see the sticker though. Just says super sticker.
Is it Don't Tread on Me?
Supposed to be,
or maybe that's his profile pic. I agree with Old Timer here too. I would love for the Big 12 championship game to be an OU Texas rematch. I think everybody's hoping for that, man. I think everybody's hoping to see OU and Texas play on the last Big 12 championship that they're in the conference.
What I really like to see happen is for Oklahoma to beat them twice. Has Oklahoma ever?
Don't even say it out loud, man.
Has Oklahoma ever beat? Have they ever beat Texas twice in 1 year, or vice versa? That year that y'all played each other twice, y'all split them.
Did. I think they have, actually.
I thought that year that y'all played them, though, didn't y'all split that one? Y'all split it. I think Texas beat y'all in the first game, and then y'all beat them in the championship game, didn't you?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm just not sure. For some reason, I was feeling like maybe they did beat them twice in 1 year, but maybe not. Let me check it out here.
Yeah, Fred, I'm going to, this Wednesday, me and my friend Marty Keene, we're going to get my store up and running on Shopify. Y'all made this Killer Breeze knows, man. I started out, man, I never had an idea that I'd be able to one day actually have my own store associated with my channel. And we're going to get some merchandise, and we're going to get some hats up. As you can see right up here, I got an OCF hat, but that probably ain't cool enough for you guys. I'm going to have to get y'all some good stuff. I'm going to have to get y'all some really good hats. Old 56 timer with a $10 super sticker donation. Appreciate the hell out of that, old 56 timer. That keeps us going. That keeps us motivated. Now me and Killer Breeze can stop into the saloon there and get us a Corona or a shot of hell up. Well, I can't get no Patron. It's too high. You'd have to put up a $20 sticker for me to get some Patron.
Like Killback First says, put a can't have a defense with a spine with a snake coach. That's right.
Hey, that's
right.
That's pretty epic there. I'm going to have to use that shit. I'm going to have to use that in the podcast.
Killback First joining the show again and then coming with the thunder.
That's right.
I Am Sooner says, yes, it looks like I was wrong. Twice in 1 year has only happened twice, and no, neither has won it twice. So, yeah, that makes sense, man.
I was thinking, both times that it happened, it was split. So this year what's going to happen is Oklahoma's going to beat them twice.
God damn, that'd be great.
You're killing you. You're killing you. You think I'm jinxing you, right?
Yeah, you are, man. You know it. You are. You know that, man.
Yeah, man. You still got me thinking about Tawny Katane on the damn convertible over here. And running up the White Snake videos, man.
It was one of the great moments in American history. What are you talking about, man?
I think LeVar probably he's too young.
LeVar hadn't even joined tonight, man. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I think LeVar, he knows they give up 41 points. They shit the bed a little bit, but
just a chump.
LeVar's probably one of those millennials, man. He's probably born in 2001 or some shit. But if he had been born in the 80s, LeVar would probably been like a Boy George fan or some shit. Come on.
You come and go. You come and go.
I ain't gonna lie now. I ain't gonna have a catchy tune for the cross dresser.
Yeah, isn't he? Whatever happened to him? Isn't he still around somewhere? Shit, I don't know.
I don't know, man. He's probably out there at them transgender volleyball tournaments, man.
That's what I was just about to say. LeVar is spineless in his shows. Yeah, he is. LeVar sitting up in here calling us all hillbillies. I'm like, yeah.
I had to tell him, like, you do realize that where I live, there's no hills. So I can't be a hillbilly. You can call me a redneck.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's an idiot. But, he's Cali educated, so you can only hold so much against him. LeVar was a Flock of Seagulls fan.
Who said that?
Mike Wilkerson said that. That's right, Mike.
Oh, shit. I remember a scene from, what was that movie called? Wedding Singer. Have you ever seen Wedding Singer?
Oh, I love that movie. Are you kidding me? That's Sandler.
He's at the airport, and that guy's got the Flock of Seagulls hair at the airport.
Yeah.
He makes his buddy pay for his first-class ticket.
Like Marines talking about hating to see Bedlam go, but I got to be honest with you, man. Oklahoma State is in a free fall right now. I mean, I thought Oklahoma State was going to seize the opportunity to become the new one of the dominant players in the Big 12, but man, they just
I'm a man. I'm 53, man. He always chokes on the big stage, man, when he gets that chance.
But man, this is way beyond. Like, they're talking about.
Well, I heard they're gonna have a bunch of players walk out or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know if that ended up. When does the transfer portal open up again?
They said that some of the players were saying that Mike Gundy, and I'm on Mike Gundy's side when it comes to this. They said Mike Gundy and his staff were not paying enough attention to their NIL agents and their parents. And I'm like, well, they're not supposed to pay attention to your NIL agents. That's not Mike Gundy's job, man. Yeah. Pay attention to your NIL agents. That's your job. You're supposed to make that yourself. The universities are not supposed to have anything to do with that. You're supposed to make your own and broker your own deals, man. they're gonna have to come in and make some rules for that shit, man. There's just too much wild west going on with that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's the NCAA has just done such a good job of screwing up the college football landscape.
Now, I did hear about this, but I didn't see it. Marine soon brought up something I forgot all about. Someone told me that old Con Time was crying at the press conference about the officiating.
Was he really?
At the USC game. And he gonna talk that shit, man. And all them calls he got against Colorado State. Colorado State had them beat, man. And
and it's not like they're doing anything in recruiting. Colorado's not doing anything in recruiting. I think he mistakenly thinks, like Tebow, that you can build a team through the transfer portal. And I try to tell people all the time, transfer portal is important. Absolutely. Eric came in with a super chat. The transfer portal is important to fill gaps when you have them, but that is not how you build a program. You build a program on high school talent that you bring in and you develop in your culture. Just look at what's going on with all these players that USC supposedly brought in to revolutionize their defense and make them legit. They're like that guy from Georgia, Bear. I was on a USC live stream earlier when they were freaking out about is it time to fire Grinch, and several of them were talking about how Bear is not the guy, very inconsistent. And don't you think that that's what you're going to get? I mean, don't you agree, JPC, that most of the players in the portal are there for a reason, that they're not playing?
That's what I've said the whole time, man, all along. I mean, you're going to get a few nuggets like Alabama did with Jamison Williams. There's going to be a few, but not many. I would say that 70 to 80% of the portal, those players never work out anywhere. Take JT Daniels, for example. Quarterback at Georgia, went to West Virginia, now he's at Rice. Ain't done shit. He's a 5-star coming out of high school. That don't mean shit, man. You can be a 5-star all you want, man. I guarantee you there's more professional football players in the NFL that were 3 and 4 stars coming out of high school.
Right.
Opposed to 5 stars.
That's right.
And the portal, those players didn't make the cut where they were at for a reason. They couldn't start because they weren't good enough. So and you have, like I said, a few nuggets out there. It's an extenuating circumstance, but for the most part, it's like you alluded to. It's a hollow way to build a team, and eventually, it's going to be like a house of cards, and that shit's going to fall.
Right. And that seems to be what Dion is what he's doing, because if you go look at the rankings, at least, Colorado doesn't seem to be doing much.
Eric Blomquist changes gears on us. He said he wants to have a silent moment for Taylor Swift right now. The Jet just tied it up. I'm about tired of hearing about Taylor Swift and what is it, Travis?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Bunch of damn ridiculous. Bunch of spastic liberals. Obligatory shot in real quick. It's in the middle of the video here, so they probably won't be able to see it. I won't be able to get me for it.
Get censored by YouTube. All these tech companies that are ruining the
they've been limiting the ads on my shit because either they don't like what I say or I've been running stuff on my videos that are supposedly copyrighted.
That's ridiculous. Fred Bailey says Contom didn't wear his shades. There you go. You just highlighted it.
That's right.
It was crying time.
I done showed y'all, man. I got my Power Ranger glasses too. That's what he looks like, man. He looks like
the problem. You can't see anything when you have those things on inside. The only time I ever saw people wearing sunglasses inside is when they were taking ecstasy.
Or when they had an eye doctor's appointment.
Or that. Yeah.
That's what that was, man. That's
quite a different scenario, but yeah, that too.
That's some glasses from the eye doctor.
Yeah.
He's probably high, man. Probably snorting coke or something before the press conference.
Well, you say that. Now, this is completely, I admittedly just Just throwing this out there. You say that, but keep in mind, he just had all those surgeries on his feet and everything. I mean, he wouldn't be the first person that got addicted to painkillers, you know. So maybe he is trying to hide his eyes. I think it's quite ridiculous. You said something about somebody said that was part of the black culture or some shit like that. I don't buy that at all. Not at all.
No, because all the black coaches that I know don't wear sunglasses. As a matter of fact, they try to make it like it's a race thing, but a black guy is the one that started this. The Colorado State coach, Jay Norvell, is black.
That's right.
And he called Dion out about that shit. Wasn't a white guy. He called him out, and then I got thinking about it. I'm like, he's right. You don't see Mike Tomlin of the Steelers wearing shades.
Tony Dungy?
Tony
You think
Dungy.
Tony Dungy's wearing sunglasses inside? No.
Yeah. Eddie Robinson Jr. And it's just, you just don't see it, man.
Even Herm Edwards' crazy ass doesn't wear sunglasses inside.
Charlie Strong, when he shit the bed at Texas, he never wore sunglasses.
No. No, man.
You think Charlie Strong was given a adequate opportunity when he was at Texas?
No. No. I don't think, well, let's just say this. I don't think that Charlie Strong would have been great. But no, he wasn't given a great chance. It was the same thing that usually happens over there at Texas. The boosters got involved, and I mean, even when they got him that year, I don't remember who they were trying. I think it was Saban, right? Didn't they think they were getting Saban to come to Texas? They were shooting for some big fish, and they ended up with Charlie Strong. Was like a consolation prize. Wasn't that the year Saban was supposedly flew out to? You remember that when he supposedly flew out to Austin? I think that was
they threw the bank. They threw the bank at Saban.
Yeah,
but that's when that tornado hit, and they said his wife, Miss Terry, didn't want to go, so he didn't go.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Mike says he's part coon ass from Chauvin. I know exactly where Chauvin is, man. I was just down around there not that long ago. My mom was engaged to a guy from Raceland, which isn't terribly far away from Chauvin.
It must be it. I don't see that comment. I don't see it.
Mike Wilkerson, right below Marine.
Park Coon.
Yeah, Hank's right. Strong never had a chance.
I like coons, man. I like them.
Coon asses, man. That's what you mean.
That's right. You know, Saban's first year at Alabama, he made a coon joke, and they fucking.
Oh, I remember it.
They got mad.
I remember it. People were pissed.
Shit. I'm like, y'all do realize that people they call coon are white, right? They're not.
That's right.
Not racist, man. It's just a joke, man. Chill out.
I agree with Bryce. Glad to see Blake Bell have a decent NFL career as a tight end. The old Belldozer, man. Yeah. I mean, man, I love seeing all my Sooners do well in the NFL.
Didn't Blake Bell light Alabama up? Is that the boy that lit us up on the Sugar Bowl?
No, Trevor Knight lit y'all up.
Yeah, bastard. I got his ass back at Texas.
Had the game of his life. I mean, was literally throwing. He threw some passes. I mean, some long passes that were just on the money, and he never had a performance like that again.
Yeah, he went to Texas.
Which he ended up at A&M. Yeah, he
we got his ass there. We whooped his ass on that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
That's true.
Dion is. That's right. That's all he's about. That's why I get in arguments with these Colorado fans all the time when they want to start talking about Dion like he's going to be there 10 years from now. I'm like, man, are you out of your mind? The dude is only doing that to get his sons from a black college, the HBCU circuit, to bring him into a Power 5, school. That's what he's doing. And in addition to just glossing himself, to make himself look good, he's not going to stay at Colorado very long. He's just not. He's either going to take a step up to a much bigger program, which is probably what's going to happen, or he's going to the NFL. He's unfortunately, I don't know, Jesse, you tell me what you think. He's the hottest coaching prospect out there right now. Like, I don't agree with it, but that's what it is, man. The people are talking. Have you heard? Did you listen to the announcers in the game when they were playing Colorado State? They were making it sound like this dude was Vince Lombardi and Shedeur Sanders was take your pick, great quarterbacks. Yeah, thank you.
Shit. Man, I think people that can look past the bullshit and would look at this unbiasedly, regardless of what race you are, can see that this guy, he's just a narcissistic jackass, man. He's a bully.
No, I agree with that.
And this shit's gonna play out, and he's gonna start losing games. And it wouldn't surprise me if he quit in the middle of the year like Steve Spurrier did at South Carolina or some shit. It would not surprise me if he pulled a Bob Petrino and left in the middle of the fucking night. And he done got
right. Right. So, but don't you think? I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, don't you think he's considered the hottest coaching prospect right in the country right now? At both levels.
They're just fooled up. But if you're a good administrator, you should be able to see past that crap, man. Colorado, I question their leadership, man. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Eric, this is what I'm talking about. Eric's talking about he disagrees. He'll stay at Colorado and bring in players and crush it there. But the thing is, why? So why isn't he recruiting well yet? Even now, like, you're not hearing anything in the rumor mills about, all of a sudden him flipping a bunch of players to Colorado or his recruiting has been subpar. He's gotten players in the transfer portal, and he brought his Louis and Travis Hunter and those guys for fine.
Well, here's the thing.
It's like Lincoln Riley, the highest rated players until this new recruit they just signed for 2026, that number one quarterback recruit. The highest rated college recruits Lincoln Riley has had at USC yet, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, are the same players he had when he was at OU. Zachariah Branch, Malachi Nelson, all those guys. The guys he brought with him to USC, who has he recruited that's a higher rated recruit than those guys yet? I mean, they're 19th right now. They're not even sniffing the top 10 of recruiting. And just like Lincoln Riley, he's got another small class.
Where's Colorado?
I don't remember seeing Colorado in the top 25. Let me pull it up.
But now Hank brought up something here. Hank says Dion has brought $230 million in revenue to Boulder. He's brought in. Listen, they're the hottest program in the country right now. That is attributable to him, no doubt. And but that has to translate onto the field eventually. Short term, he's done a lot. But my thing is, long term, this shit's not going to last.
Right.
It can't last, man. Not the way he's doing things, the way he's handling the program. You just can't do it like that, man. It's going to eventually catch up to him. He got a lucky break in playing TCU as early as he did because they were coming off a 65-7 complete embarrassment to Georgia. And they, even in that game, they beat Michigan. They give up 45, and then they give up 45 to Contime. So that's 155 points in 3 games. Then you play Nebraska, who we know Nebraska is not Nebraska anymore. And then they play Colorado State, who's a G5 school that barely beat Middle Tennessee State. So
take a guess right now where Colorado's recruiting class is ranked. Take a guess on the ranking and take a guess on the number of players in it.
I would say 33rd.
Not even close. Not even close. How many players do you think they have in the class, and what do you think the stars in terms of, do you think he has any 5 stars? Do you think he has what kind of class do you think he's got?
I don't think he's got any 5 stars. Probably
he doesn't.
I think he probably got some 3s. Some 4s.
He's the 75th ranked class right now. He's got 8 commits. His average player score is sub 90, and he's got 3 4-star recruits and 5 3-star recruits. Now, if this dude is going to be so good, please explain to me, because this is not like he should be doing better this year.
That's right.
This isn't last year.
That $230 million in revenue should be getting him some players, you would think, right?
Right. That's right.
But it's not.
This isn't the
short
2023 class. This is the 24 class. So same thing with Lincoln Riley. I thought Lincoln Riley was going to go to Southern Cal and dominate in recruiting. And so far, they just get their asses kicked by Oregon left and right. They've lost so many commits, people decommitting from USC this year. It's pathetic. And right now, they're in danger of dropping out of the top 20 in recruiting. That shit matters.
Eric Blomquist says, "Oh my God, Prime just got there. 90% of the players left. Just wait, he will get a lot of great transfers." That's the problem, Eric.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't work, man.
You can't just keep relying on transfer portal. Eventually, it's going to eat you up because those players are transferring for a reason. They're transferring because they weren't good enough to make the cut at their team that they really wanted to play for. So,
and you're typically getting them for what, 1-2 years, maybe. You're not getting them for 3 or 4. You're getting them for 1 or 2. So they're out just as quick as they're in. You're not going to build continuity that way, and you're not going to foster a culture that way. You're just not. I'm not trying to say the guy can't recruit anyone. He's going to go get some guys, but overall, if you look at what he's doing. And Colorado, I'm sorry, Colorado is not gonna take the likes of Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State out. What's Twisted Monkey saying?
Yeah, he says they're gonna win the Big 12 within 3 years. I think Utah will probably have something to say about that. The neighboring state, right there next to them, the one that's actually won the Pac-12 back-to-back years when Colorado couldn't do shit.
What is Eric talking about? OU had the same problem last year. What problem? Recruiting? You're not talking about recruiting, are you, Eric?
Actually, ever since Lincoln Riley's left, he's got out-recruited by Oklahoma each and every season. And
that's right.
Usually what happens is USC starts fast, and then they peter off, and they end up finishing anywhere from 10 to 20, and Oklahoma's been finishing near the top 5 and in the top 5. So that stupid acidine comment that he made is the reason why I keep grilling the shit out of him about saying you can't recruit to Oklahoma. Really? People have been recruiting Oklahoma since they become a state.
Yeah.
Oklahoma since the 1920s, man. So for him to say that was pretty stupid and short-sighted, and he painted himself in the corner. Now he's gotten out-recruited by Oklahoma 3 years in a row.
OU transfers are not the stars of this team this year. They're not. You got Andrell Anthony, who, by the way, is probably not as good as Nick Anderson. He's good. I love Andrell, but he's probably not their best receiver. Farouk and Nick Anderson were the stars of this last game. The guys that are flashing on defense are not the transfers. Peyton Bowen, PJ, those are not the guys. Those guys are not the transfers. Are not flowing. Again, transfers are important, but you're not going to build championship teams with transfers, man. Because most of the guys you're getting are not going to be superstars that are just looking for a different program. If they're superstars, they're probably going to be playing where they went when they started off. That's probably what they're going to do.
Culture is the big word here. I'm not really understanding what that means.
Well, he's just talking about transfer. You can't, you like Alabama has a defined culture about what they're about. And the kids that get brought into that program get brought in young, and they get developed under Nick Saban's culture of how they handle, practice, their the team identity, all of it comes into play. And so, if you want to build your culture, which is unique to yourself, you're not going to do that if you're relying on the transfer portal. it's a cop out, man. The people that brag about the transfer portal are the people that aren't getting it done in recruiting. Recruiting will always be the lifeblood of your program, period.
USC features this defense next year in the Big Ten. They're in a world of hurt. Yes, that is true. They are in a world. They're going to be in a world of shit for sure when they play Michigan and Ohio State. They better be glad they got Oregon and Washington in the conference because the damn travel was going to kill them. I know that USC did not want Oregon to get into the conference. They thought that they had something over them, and that's why they've done it, so they'd have something over Oregon because Oregon's been coming in there, they ain't just Alabama and Oklahoma and all these other teams. Oregon's been taking their shit for quite a long time. The recruits out of California.
Yeah.
He claimed he's going to build a wall around California, man, but that wall has been crumbled many, many times. Alabama went in there and got Bryce Young. There's been numerous. We went in there and got Justin Saying. There's a great quarterback coming to Alabama. He's talking about Alabama having great quarterbacks. He's going to be the next great quarterback at Alabama.
Eric, you're right. Transfers do have a role, no doubt. I never meant to say that they don't. They're important to fill gaps for sure. But I think if you want a program that's going to be great year in and year out, it has to be centered around high school recruits. And by the way, that's a good thing for us because it looks like BV and his staff are good recruiters.
You got to be able to do both is all I'm saying. I mean, you can have great transfer portal classes, but if you don't have a great high school recruiting to go with it, it's going to be hollow. Yeah. And it's just going to end up catching up to you eventually, in my opinion. I could be wrong about that. Joe Long,
I think that's right.
Joe Long says the Boomer used to rob trains. What's that all about?
Sooners used to rob trains. I honestly don't know what the robbing trains part is. I mean, I know what the Boomer Sooner thing is.
I know some people say the Sooners were squatters or something. They stole land.
No, so the Boomer Sooner thing is when the country was giving away land, they essentially would say you can go claim it, and the time, like for example, they'd say the time to claim land is Wednesday at noon. So all these guys would go earlier than they were supposed to go. And if I'm correct, the Sooners were the ones that got there early. The Boomers were the ones that used guns and shit to take their land. It's not the best.
All I can say is if you let them take your land, then that's on you. You got punked out. They took your shit. Oh, well. Yeah. That's the way it happens. It ain't just something that happened with American history. That shit's been going on throughout history since the beginning of time. The Roman Empire took many people's lands from them, you know. It wasn't just white men that took Indian lands. Shit's been going on for a long time.
Hey, get Mike Wilkerson up here again. Mike's coming with some thunder today. He's asking if we beat Texas and at least keep the score close, does Nwaneri flip? This is a question every Sooner fan really wants to know. And I think there's a damn good chance Nwaneri flips. I do. I've always thought that. And if OU's defense shows out all year like they've done so far, I think they got a good chance of getting it. The other guy, Dominic McKinley, no, I don't think we have any chance of getting him. I don't think he's coming. But I think Nwaneri, there's still a shot. And a lot of that has to do with PJ being already on the team because they are same ethnicity, and I think their families are friends now too, or something like that. And I think Nwaneri has a good chance. The problem is, here's the thing that I don't want to necessarily even say out loud, but Jesse was trying to jinx us earlier. Son of a gun. But you got to really ask yourself, the likelihood is, because it does look like OU and Texas are far and away the best teams in the Big 12, contrary to what some people thought at the beginning of the year. Yeah. So the likelihood is they're going to play again. Do you really want, the chances of either one of these teams winning both games is low. So which game would we rather win? That's what you got to think about. If we end up losing to Texas, as long as we keep it close, like Wilkerson's talking about, the that's a win. That will play in Texas's mind. And this team should get better as the year goes on. Good teams always do. So while I would love OU to kick Texas's ass twice in the same year, probably not going to happen. And I'd rather them win the Big 12 championship.
We ain't able to get to all y'all's comments, and I've said this numerous times, but if you want to get your comment highlighted, there's the money dollar sign at the bottom of this video. You can hit that, and it'll highlight it and give however much you want to, according to how many characters you want. That's how much they charge you. Click on that, send your comment, and it'll highlight it. Make a donation to the program, and we'll read your comment out above the rest.
Oh, Marine Sooner, that's right. Okay, there we go. Boomers came across when the cannon fired. Sooners came across early. All right, that's right.
Says Grandpa got caught 2 or 3 times as a sooner.
That's funny, and that's legend, Rob. By the way, that's awesome. And Twisted Monkey says, "F that, I want to win both." Well, yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't think I've mentioned it to you guys yet, but I was actually, when I went to OU, my dad's family all are from Oklahoma and graduated from OU. I was in the Roughnecks when I was at OU.
So let me ask you this. If Oklahoma plays this game close, ends up being a close game and they lose, do you think that'll still be a positive thing for them as far as those recruits that you're talking about? Do you think Nawari might flip if it's a close game and Oklahoma still loses?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Because, man, the good thing for us is that, like the media always does, they just drool over Texas. Anytime Texas gives them any reason, the national media, anytime Texas gives the national media any reason to talk about how great they are, they do it. So the perception, which I think is a little wrong, is that Texas is a lot better than I think they really are. So if OU keeps it close, especially considering how bad they lost last year, that's going to be seen in the national media as a win for us, and that OU is going in the right direction. So I think it absolutely – I mean, the guy that we just picked up, Danny Okoye, straight up said that the reason why he didn't get hot on Oklahoma was he had to see that they were actually getting better on defense. And in his opinion, in his estimation, that's what he's seeing this year. So it's already made a difference for one of our top recruits on defense, the line in particular, which is what which we all know is very important. So yeah, I think if they beat Texas, god damn, if they beat Texas and they go on a run,
it's gonna be a good day for me.
It's gonna, yeah, it is.
I'm gonna be grilling the hell out of somebody. Somebody's going on the freaking grill after that, especially Louis Padella, who said Texas is gonna win 35-0.
Louis, so disappointing. You got to be are you a Shorthorn fan, Louis? What the hell's going on here?
Probably a Skittle shitter.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Hank said that he thinks all that is needed is a respectable game and that it will help give Oklahoma some positive push in recruiting.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Computers are saying it's a pick'em game. I'm excited. Well, I think the computer said that last year too, didn't it? You can't trust them computers, man. Oh, you got the number 1 tight end from California. Auburn got the number 1 offensive lineman. Exactly. There is no wall around California. Now, maybe Oregon could build a wall around California and maybe take it over because they've been taking USC's lunch money for a number of years. That's why they wanted to get in the Big Ten, so they'd have a recruiting advantage of some sort. And whoops, that went out the window. Now Oregon and Washington are in the Big Ten because the Big 12 supposedly killed the Pac-12. We all know that's just the Big Ten trying to shed some of that negative light. They want to kill the Pac-12.
Absolutely. they got played by that commissioner. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank on him. That guy played those fools. Was that Warren? Who did that?
Mike said that Nigel Smith and Danny Okoye will not be flipping. I guess they're talking about.
I agree with that. Clippers. I think he's right about that. Padilla's USC all the way. Ain't no Skittle shitters here.
Well, if you're a USC
fan,
you're
world hurt right now, Louis Padilla. Let me tell you something, because your defense is trash.
Hey, Louis, bring us some more Skittle shitters up here. We done run LeVar off because your defense shit the bed. Now he's scared to come in here. But if you're a USC fan, you are a Skittle shitter. That's the whole thing about
the definition of it.
You just admitted to being a Skittle shitter. USC's a Skittle shitter, man.
Taste the rainbow, Louis.
Everybody knows that, man.
No, we're giving Louis a hard time. He looks like a good dude.
Yeah.
He's not being disrespectful in here.
No,
we're just playing around, Louis.
He's just trying to talk some smack.
I don't think it's a CNN crowd. You right about that, Dalpo. What is that? Dalpo's 83? There ain't no CNN crowd in here.
It's sort of backwards. I think the people in Los Angeles are the ones that watch CNN. You know, where you shitting in the streets, hanging out on a trashy beach. Hey, Louis, seriously, brother, I'd done a rap song for you guys. It's on my podcast. You can go look it up. It's called Lincoln Riley Rap Song, I think. Lincoln Riley versus Oklahoma Rap Song. And I actually done a rap song for y'all. Just to show you how eclectic I am. I'm very talented guy. I can rap. I can do whatever you need me to, man. But yeah, go check out that song out there, Louis. Bring us some Skittle shooters up in here.
And people just don't know you got rapping skills, man.
Yeah, I do. I do have some rapping skills, man. Now, I'm not as good as the Beastie Boys, but I'm getting there. There's your 80s band, the Beastie Boys.
Love the Beastie, man. Louis said he admits it's trash, but they're still winning. That's right. You got to be happy about that. It's still better than 4-8 with Clay Helton.
What's fake news?
Hank said new NIL arrangement for USC is hand jobs for the homeless.
Where? Where's that? Where's that?
Hank said the new NIL arrangement for USC is hand jobs for the homeless.
Oh, shit. You see what you done, Louis? You done poked that damn hornet's nest, man. Now you're going to get stung, man. Better get you some more people up here, man. It's fixing to be a beatdown.
Did the Vegas line really start out at 3.5? Texas was only a 3.5 favorite to start off.
I thought y'all liked the Skittle Shitter name, man.
Skittle Shitters is great.
It's a bite-sized candy, man.
Taste the rainbow.
Yeah. Y'all like rainbows out there, right? At least that's what I hear. You got the stupid-ass governor you got out there. You done run your state in the ground, economically speaking. Sorry.
Yeah, but he's so pretty.
What is it, Gavin Newsom?
Yeah.
Can't even spell his last name right, man. He spells it Newsom without an E. Everybody and their mama knows that you spell Newsom with an E. Notre Dame, Oregon, and Washington is a loss for the Skittle Shitters. Damn, Louis, they're giving you 3 losses, buddy. I think Utah's probably going to beat them too. Maybe. Are they going to get Cam Rising back? Was he out for the year?
I don't know, actually. I think I don't know if he's in or not. Sooners are a lock. Sooners are a lock at +5, Richard Young said. Look, the higher that line gets, the more you should bet.
They're coming in here strong with the damn one-liners. There's some one-liners tonight, boy. Look at that shit. You can like to give it up without a fight. Sound like some damn Shawshank Redemption shit. Huh. Like old Morgan Freeman, man, he was narrating that shit. He said, I like to say Andy fought the good fight and the sisters left him alone, but they didn't.
Yeah.
He got his ass.
What a great movie.
Got his ass right in the ass. Oh, yeah.
That's right, Marine Sooner. They're the most fair weather fans on the planet. Well, that's not fair. Some of them aren't. Some of listen, as much as we give USC a hard time, USC is a blue blood program that they are. And there are definitely diehard Trojan fans. I feel bad for them, honestly, because the majority of them aren't, I think. And they give the rest of the good ones a bad name. You know, USC.
I can only go on what I've seen, man, and every one of I run into is just oblivious. And Daniel Bitzer, LeVar.
You need to let Daniel Bitzer back in, man. I know you won't do it.
I gotta figure out how to get him back in here because he steers the pot. I ain't gonna lie, he got me a couple of times. He pressed my button a couple of times.
Oh, me too. Me and him went at it as well. I find him all the time in those chats. I go looking for him. He's usually there, and we've gone at it a few times. So we got to get him back in here. He's too much fun.
We love having you in here, full noise. Just haven't seen your name in here before, but glad to have you, brother.
Eric, hey, Eric's got the next one-liner.
Oh, here we go. USC can eat D, and they do. Marine Sooner even spelt Newsom's name wrong for him again. Back up for a senile president if he pulls out. Someone should have pulled out when they had Biden, right?
Yeah, it would have helped. Would have spared us a lot of pain and misery. Yeah, man. I think I think it's going to be rough for USC this year, man. I really do. I think the way it's turned out, and it's kind of funny if you notice, USC is having that rare, typically when you're an undefeated team, you don't drop in the rankings. But similar to OU in Riley's last year there, where they just continually dropped in the rankings, even though they kept winning each week. I think they started the year off 6-0 maybe, or 7-0, and they kept dropping in the rankings. And that's exactly what's happening to USC this year. So if you're looking at it honestly, between Washington, Oregon, Utah, and hell, I don't even know. Do they play either one of Washington State or Oregon State this year?
I don't think they play Washington State and Oregon State. They got lucky again,
but they play Notre Dame. Notre Dame's the other one. So Notre Dame, Washington, Oregon, and Utah. Out of those four, you got to think at least 2 losses, right? Oregon and Washington, and don't you think that's kind of a how is USC's defense gonna stop Oregon's offense, or Washington for that matter?
They're not. That's the problem. See, but just off the subject here, screw Republicans. I'm not a Republican, man. I'm actually a registered Democrat. That's what y'all don't realize is I used to be a registered Democrat, and I'm not in the Democratic Party anymore because they let a bunch of liberal spastics that believe in a bunch of stuff that nobody should believe in take over your party, man. So I'm an independent. It has nothing to do. Party label loyalty makes for corrupt loyalty, in my opinion.
By the way, Joe, we don't need the aggressive attitude, dog. We don't need none of that. It's not about that. First of all, if you think either one of those parties is on point, you're a fool. So I would say back up off the aggressive nature there, man, because you're fighting a battle you're not going to win. Yeah,
because like I said, I'm a registered Democrat. I haven't unregistered, but I'm not really a Democrat anymore. I'm an independent. I'm an independent thinker. And if I can say as a former Democrat that this guy is screwing up things, then I'm thinking everybody should be able to see it. That's just me, though.
Joe, chill out, man. Relax, dude. it's not like that, man. And again,
I had to take care of Joe. He's getting a little vulgar there. He's gone.
Yeah, he's just being ridiculous.
I'll address it for a second or two, but I'm not going to just keep talking about it because it's a sports channel.
Well, I was about to say the first thing is we're talking sports. If you want to play around a little bit, that's all good.
Yeah,
but
we don't need a little snide comment every once in a while. But I'm not going to get here in depth. And I mean, I would love to do a political podcast. I could eat his ass up, but that's not what I'm here to do tonight.
No, man. Tonight we got bigger fish to fry, namely Con Time and Tebow and Grinch.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do all the trees in Oklahoma point south? Because Texas sucks. That's pretty good. Yeah, man. It's going to be, man, damn, you back up to like close to 80 people, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. I was going to get off here, but the damn numbers keep rising back up on me. But, if you got to go, man, we'll go ahead and cut this thing off.
No, I got a little bit more time. I thought I saw. Oh, I thought Boomer Schooner was a new member, but it's not. It just says hey out. Yeah, back to college football. There you go, Marine. Marine, how old are you, man?
Says he's back. He says a conservative. What's it say? Hey, Boomer Schooner. Conservative Democrat. What do you say? Conservative independent? That's me. I'm a conservative independent.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here for football. That's right. Marine Sooner, how old are you, man?
It's the best thing to ever come out of Texas ass is I-35. Someone told me y'all named a road after Lincoln Riley down there on that panhandle. Did y'all name a road after Lincoln Riley?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Now JPC is
a little stick right there.
Cold.
Someone told me they named a road after him down there. Like for real.
They banned his ass.
Like the shittiest road. It was like the shittiest road they could find, and they named it after Lincoln Riley.
Oh no, that's funny. I didn't hear that. 52. All right, we're the same age. We're in the same age here. I kind of figured that.
I'm about to color my beard. I'm gonna get me a Just for Men sponsorship.
A touch of color.
That's right. Those of you who are just now joining us, we're talking about Con Time, Deion Sanders, and Lincoln Riley, and how their game panned out, and the impending Red River shootout between two undefeated teams. Eric Blum,
yeah, man.
$20 donation. Riley brought his dumbness to California. Glad he left, made us smarter.
Mike says he's been in his first OU home game in 71 versus Nebraska and hadn't missed a home opener since 74. Eric said, well, oh yeah, we got the super oh, you're ahead of me. Super chat with Eric. Riley bought his dumbness to count. Yeah, that's right. That was really the best thing that could have happened to us was having him leave like that. We just didn't know it. That's one of the things that the Skittle shitters try to turn into something that it isn't. They try to act like the reality is a lot of OU fans have come out after Riley left and talked about things that they wouldn't talk about while he was here because they just wanted to support the program. So there were rumblings going on behind the scenes about how the program was getting soft and the culture was deteriorating from what Bob had built. There were a lot of people that were not happy with him at the time, even though he was having so much success with the offense, the team in general, and the quarterbacks. But there were a lot of people that weren't happy with the direction the program was going in. And, but the reality is we never would have gotten rid of him ever. I think he would have stayed as long as he wanted, even if the defense was bad.
Bob Stoops.
So it's Lincoln. I think Lincoln would have stayed as long as he is. I don't think they would have fired him, man. Even with the defense being.
Well, a lot of people, before Lincoln Riley became head coach, a lot of people were actually, and a lot of people don't remember this, but some people were actually a little tired of Bob Stoops.
Oh, well, it was the defense. The problems with the defense didn't start under Riley. Let's be honest. The defense in Oklahoma hadn't been good for a long time, well before Riley got there. It just wasn't. So, and it just was one of those things that just got worse and worse as their defense continued to be bad. The recruiting on the defensive side continued to get worse. It was a fire that just fed itself. So the fact that Riley left, man, we all need to be thankful because
you thought I was trolling you, didn't you? See, look at there. Mike Happy just told you about that road, man.
Oh shit, look at that.
100 feet in the panhandle out there in the middle of nowhere on a shitty ass road. It's gonna call it the Raleigh Expressway because it's leading out of Oklahoma into that shit-style state next door called New Mexico. It's an awful state.
You don't like New Mexico, man?
No.
Why not? What don't you like about New Mexico?
Well, the water out there, you have to have like filters and shit on your damn stuff. Drink the water out there from what I'm understanding. What Jonathan used to tell me. Jonathan used to tell me also some bad stuff about New Mexico. I've never really been there. I just want to take a jab at them just for the hell of it.
Bryce Wayne says, how long until Linky Boy brings up Oklahoma in an interview again? Yeah, what in the hell is up with that last thing that with the players breaking into his house and his family not being safe? What in the hell do you think caused him to do that, man?
Well, I think it was because Oklahoma passed him in recruiting again. It was right about that time where they got passed. And he's trying to take some sting off that comment he made, man. He's still paying for that comment,
Yeah, he's going to pay for it forever.
And if I had to bet, and you try and be funny saying that, but seriously, if I had to gander a bet, I would say that if Oklahoma beats Texas and then USC loses a game somewhere along the way, he's going to say something negative to try to take away from y'all because he's absolutely watching Oklahoma.
Oh, 100%.
They can say that they're living rent-free in y'all's head, but it's actually the other way.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, that's right.
I don't understand it. Like, well, how can you say that it's a 6 and 7 team living rent-free in our head? That doesn't make no sense. It don't make no sense, but y'all are allowing it to happen. Your coach is because he's obviously watching Oklahoma. He's obviously doing that shit. He's paying attention to the recruiting rankings, and he ain't just looking at Alabama and Georgia being up number 1, number 2. He's looking at where Oklahoma's at.
That's right. David, BB's last year at OU was 2011, I believe. So 2012 would have been his first year at Clemson, if I remember correctly. LeVere is a Milli Vanilli fan.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. We all know Milli Vanilli was a fake, and LeVar is a fake, just like USC's fan base.
That's great. He just can't quit us. That's right. That's right.
No, you can't.
Yeah, Fred, you're right. Bob shouldn't have brought Mike back. But I got to be honest with you. I was in favor of that. I really was. I thought Mike coming back was going to be a good thing, and it was a flipping disaster.
Well, hell, brother, we're running into a 2-hour show tonight. It's like a record time for me.
Yeah, man, we can shut it down if that's what you need to do.
But I just want to tell y'all as well, y'all see these people in here with their badges like Hank, Mike Wilkerson, Fred Bagley, Killer Breeze has got his badge as well. If you want to get your badge and get deputized to be in the Outlaw Posse, it's not $2.99 a month. 75 cents a week. It's a little join button next to subscribe button. You click that and join the Outlaw Posse. You'll get your Four Horsemen shout out on the podcast, as well as possibly be the comment of the day.
Sooner D's been going to OU games since 74. Parents had tickets in 66 at Stout.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's what these a lot of these blue blood fan bases are all about, man. You got legacy.
Eric, take it easy. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Looks like Eric's jumping off.
Yeah, brother, we're probably about to get up out of here too. We just we went a little long tonight because we've had some pretty good back and forth with the chat room and whatnot.
Yeah, man. Interestingly enough, you still have over 60 people in here, man.
It's wild. They're liking it.
Who will win the Big 12 next year? Well, you know, Jesse's brought up a couple of times that there's really a chance for a blue blood to come out of the Big 12 now with the void left by OU and Texas. And I think, Jesse, if I remember correctly, you kind of think it might be BYU, since BYU is the only non-Power 5 school, or the last non-Power 5 school to win a national championship in, what was it, 83?
84.
84, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, next year, who's going to do it. You know, Utah, I mean, again, man,
Utah or BYU.
Utah could do it as well.
And the obvious answer for most people used to be Oklahoma State, but the way they have completely melted down this year, I don't think it's going to be Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Maybe Texas
No, there's
Tech.
no way.
Texas Tech might be able to carry that mantle. I don't know.
Well,
I
McGuire,
think it'd be Utah. Utah's won back-to-back Pac-12 titles. I think it'll be Utah or BYU.
I could see it, either one. You know, but Joey McGuire at Texas Tech, I think a lot of people had Texas Tech, you know, picked to go further than they. It's just a little too early on, but clearly he's doing good things, and Texas Tech could definitely. That's who your Mac wants, with his little dumb comment he made.
Yeah. You see, Central Florida blew like a 35-7 lead.
Yeah.
To
Against Baylor.
Man, that was Randa off the hook, man. If Randa lost that game, he'd be on the chopping block.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's you know, that's the other thing. A lot of folks thought maybe Central Florida would Fred's out. Take it easy, Fred. A lot of people thought Central Florida might be the team to come out of the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, because they do have the biggest enrollment in America, from my understanding. They got like, was it 70,000 students or something, or 70?
Yeah, I didn't realize that at all. I didn't realize how big they were at all.
Christy Monkey says K-State, maybe. K-State might. Speaking of K-State, I hear Chris Kleiman might be a candidate for the Michigan State job.
I wouldn't doubt it. You got to ask yourself how long Kleiman and what's his name over at Kansas will be. Leipold and Kleiman. How long will they be at those schools?
All right, brother. I guess something to get up out of here. Is anything you want
to
add?
Man. I don't think so, man. It was fun. Had fun chatting with all you guys. I'm as big a fan of the show as I'm just like everybody in the chat, man. Love the show. Appreciate you having me on tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna try to talk Killer Breeze into maybe creating his own podcast one day.
Maybe, or maybe we'll just me and you would just do it every once in a while. You know, that'll probably. That wouldn't be too bad either.
Maybe I can get as big as someone like 365 Sports. You can just be on the payroll.
Man, I think you got a great foundation, man. Mike, take it easy. You got a great foundation, man. You know, I love watching the show grow. And I've told you many times, I think you just got to stay with it and it'll just keep growing organically. And you just never know, man. You might be the next #1 rated college show like RJ.
Man, you had to throw that shit in there.
All right, man.
That was
on that note.
You caught me off guard, man. That was a little steel chair shot right there.
That's right. On that note, y'all all have a good night, man. Jesse, I'll be in touch, dude. Y'all be good.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take it easy.
And that was Killer Breeze, one of our biggest supporters of the show, one of the Common Joes and Common Sallies in the know. And as I promised, anytime y'all want to be on this show with me, just hit me up. That's what it's all about. It's all about you guys. I don't say that as coach speak and somebody just trying to lube you up. That's really what this channel has become. It's all about the Common Joes and Common Sallies in the know. And Sooner D backs me up. It says 76,000 students. I knew it was around 70 or 80,000. Take care of Mike Wilkerson. He's out. Yes. Dalpoza, thanks, fellas. Good show. Appreciate you too, brother. Twisted Guy, Roughneck Guy, do you have a channel? Thank you to Hank as well. See you later, Charles Van. Jack Acker, same to you, brother. It's great seeing you in here once again. Also, Marine Center. Nice little stickers night. All right, brothers and sisters, it was great once again hanging out with y'all. Once again, if you want to join the Outlaw Posse, it's not for $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Get your badge, get deputized like these guys did tonight. Get your random 4 horseman shout out, as well as possibly the comment of the day. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.